My husband he's never known how to do that.
Gotta laugh down through
Just
anything.
sometimes a little humor
Get your
can
story
you
out.
through.
Hello. Are you guys ready to hear a riveting story? Yes, my name is Erica. I guess you guys are expecting a pretty little lady. But instead you have someone who looks like a young Catholic schoolboy who probably learned how to kiss by hanging around his priest. I know everyone's probably at the edge of their seats right now. I'm taking tea, which means I'm injecting testosterone into my tiny, cute body, which explains why I have such a manly voice. But there's one thing that I'm ready to come out as, and I feel like this is the right moment to do it, especially in this event. And I'm a puppeteer. It feels so good to say it, as you can tell by my body language. I mean, I am a queer person of color living in America, and it's really hard every day, but I'm a puppeteer. And that is a hurdle I thought I would never go over. Some of you guys may be asking, why puppeteering? I'm so glad you asked, Mom and Dad. First off, I'm an animator. Everyone calm down, I'll get you my autograph later. But if anyone knows, the industry is on fire. And that especially includes animation and AI. So when I couldn't find a job in animation, I did the most logical thing, which was check myself into a mental hospital for 8 months. No, don't worry, I'm still here. But essentially, I went from animating in a dark room, high on drugs, to then being in an uncomfortably bright lit room on mandated drugs with a guy named Jerry who thinks that January 6th was an inside job. But my mom didn't like the fact that I was going to the mental hospital because, as she said, they're only gonna make me hate her and do yoga. And to quote her, she said, "Erica, you know you have delicate shoulders." Then she would hand me the latest Bible that she got from the 99-cent store that for some reason had Elmo in the cover dressed as Moses. But I know I needed serious help, and I know Elmo Moses wasn't gonna help me in this case. But in the hospital, one thing that came out of it was the realization that I had a calling, and that calling was to become a puppeteer. Because that seemed like a healthy transition. My mom, surprisingly, again, was concerned, because her favorite child, that's me, was coming out of the loony bin, wanting to become a puppeteer. And but my dream came true. I became puppeteer at a circus. Thank you. But gender did come up a lot in my job. People would ask my gender. People would ask about the puppet's gender. I had a coworker who was a stilt walker. We'll call her Martha for legal reasons. Martha, without failing, every day would ask for my pronouns. And shockingly, it never changed. So if you don't mind, I would like to showcase my acting abilities to see how every conversation would go with Martha. Just to remind you, these conversations usually happen while she was on stilts. Yes, Martha. My pronouns are she, they. So you're telling me that you're taking testosterone, but you don't identify as a man. Yes, Martha, that's how it goes. You know, I considered to be a homosexual at one point in my life. But then I realized I am a heterosexual. That is so brave of you, Martha. I'm here for you for that. You know, I'm an ally, first and foremost. But I just want you to know that I'm getting emotional because, it must be so hard to live in a world where people want you dead. People, don't want you to exist. Well, Martha, let's take it easy now. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. And then she would start equating her dating life to my struggles. For example, she says she's done dating Nigerian men. I'm not gonna go into that because, yeah. Yeah, my job isn't perfect, but it's an honest living. But my mom finally came around and she saw me on the front lines, puppeteering for my fans, which were a bunch of toddlers and elderly people high on shrooms, and Martha. And she saw me and she was like, oh, this is so wonderful. And she shook the hands of the puppet and she was like, Erica, this is really beautiful. And I was like, I know. And then she opened her bag, took a letter, like an envelope out, and I was like, oh man, this bitch wrote a letter for me. This is really touching. And then she handed it to me, and then she said, you have to stop having your student loans come to my address. You have to. And then I have a breast pocket in my uniform, and she just slowly put it in there. I got served by my mom, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, what the moral of the story is, don't worry about what other people think. Be who you are, because at the end of the day, student loans don't discriminate. And happy Pride Month.